There's been a lot going on in the world lately. There's been a lot of Christian drama. Did you ever have a night when we were dating where you're like, I think he might break up with me? There was a lot of stuff regarding like Forrest Frank.
You know that he's friends with my ex.
What's your screen time?
Do you want to see?
Yeah, let's pull it up.
I'm so embarrassed. I just feel like we're in a very weird time with social media. What do you think about these like commentators making their whole channel about pastors and public speakers?
Yeah, within 30 seconds, this person commented, "This comment is not it. Jeanine's out here being vulnerable." It would be really hard to make a video that you thought was right, and then everyone's making a video about you. People are making fun of you.
How can you feel comfortable bringing a child into this crazy world?
It feels like everything's a conspiracy theory.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Happy and Healthy.
Let's freaking do this thing.
Let's go. My name's Jeanine. This is my husband, Kaleb, and we both have drinks. What are you drinking, babe?
A bubbly, which I don't like. Honestly, sparkling water is the worst.
You know what Caleb's number one red flag is?
What?
You never finish a drink.
Yes.
No, you don't finish those drinks.
I'll finish something that tastes good, that has like sucralose in it.
No, I'll literally find these like all over the house and they're like 75% full.
It's the first taste that gets me. I'm just like, that's good.
I kind of agree with you. Like I still at least try to finish half of them, but his red flag is they're just all over the house and they're not finished.
Yeah, I'm like, guys, I'm no lie. I'm like 3 months energy drink free.
Can't say the same.
I went from, no pre-workout. I was drinking probably 500, sometimes 600 milligrams of caffeine a day.
That's crazy.
And now I'm like maybe a cup of coffee a day.
Yeah, no, I can't say the same.
Guys, I'm telling you, guys, I am a massive fan of caffeine, but
same.
I was drinking so much that I think that's what was giving me anxiety, sleep tears. And honestly, my energy throughout the day, that's what I noticed the most is I'm not tired throughout the day anymore.
Yeah, the thing with caffeine is that you become so dependent on it, and it's technically kind of a drug. And I mean, I know I can't go a day without it. It's horrible. And I'm also so beyond still sleep deprived. So midday, I'm like, I need caffeine. But I feel like the more you use it, the more you need it, and the more it doesn't really help.
Yeah, there's no way that actually is giving you energy.
I mean, I kind of feel like I got a little zing in my spirit.
I feel like it just like gives you anxiety. That's how I feel.
I don't get anxiety.
Energy
personally.
drinks, they just like hurt my heart immediately, like you did.
These actually, me,
that a few months into dating when you hurt my heart. That's how that's how energy drinks feel.
Oh, I don't want to go back.
Do you remember that those days?
Yeah, unfortunately. Honestly, I don't miss dating. Like, there's elements of dating that I loved. Obviously, it's like so fun. Everything feels new. You know, little butterflies. But I don't miss the unknown and the like, what's going to happen?
He's going to break up with me?
Yeah, is he going to break up with me? Am I going to break up with him? Is this the one?
Did you ever have a night when we were dating where you're like, I think he might break up with me?
Yeah.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Let's go. I'm just kidding. So I wasn't because you were when we dated, I was whipped.
No, you were so freaking whipped, like whipped cream. Yeah, I definitely called the shots in the relationship in the sense of like, not like I wore the pants, but I feel like you were down bad.
So were you.
Yeah, but you were like,
to me.
That's true. But you were like,
back.
You were just a down little pup when we first met. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. You know what's funny is sometimes when life gets tough, we end up spilling our hearts to the barista making our latte, our hairstylist while we're in the chair, or even a random stranger in the bathroom line. Y'all, I've definitely been guilty of this, of turning to my group chat for advice that probably deserved way more than a 2-second reply full of emojis. But here's the thing. While friends and strangers are great for casual chats, they're not therapists. Therapists are clinically trained and credentialed to help us with big stuff like things in relationships, anxiety, stress, or even figuring out why you're feeling stuck. And that's why I love BetterHelp. For over 10 years, they've been helping people find their right match through a simple questionnaire that connects you with a licensed therapist who fits your needs. And with over 30,000 therapists worldwide, worldwide and 5 million people served, it's the largest online therapy platform. You can even switch therapists anytime until you find the right one for you. So instead of relying on strangers for life advice, find the one with BetterHelp. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Find the one with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/happyhealthy. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/happyhealthy. Okay, anyway, y'all, we just want to sit down, chit chat, catch up because I'm going out of town tomorrow and Kaleb is staying here. And we, as you guys know, we're still in a very crazy season of life. And last night, I feel like we had a moment where we were literally in bed and it was late. Duke was asleep, sleep deprived. He's come home from school working hard and he was like, babe, I feel like we are drinking out of a fire hose right now. And I was like, yeah, it's real.
I think we've said this before. In a span since March, so 9 months, 8 months, we sold a house, we bought a house, we moved across state lines, I got into law school.
I had a baby.
We had a son. We have a newborn. You're finishing a devotional, new friends, new community, new church. And so, and then I'm also like running around with we're also doing, content, working full time. And for me, like, especially law school all day, coming home, being a dad, I still, on a very much lesser degree, because I do brand deals on my Instagram a little bit. Like, I'll work with companies, posting different things. And that's hard, to do, as well as when I'm studying. I'm like, okay, I also need to edit this video. So it is a lot, but we were talking about it earlier. It's so much fun too. It's really fun to be in the thick of it and you're so busy, because we'll never have a season like this ever again. And we're going to look back and remember the good old days because when we go out, when we do have a day, we have a day that it's just you and I. It's so much fun. It is. There's something so fruitful about being super busy. And I just think that, like, we were made to hit our, like, if you get in bed and you hit the pillow and you fall asleep immediately, it's like, that's a good day. Like, you put in the work. I used to have such a hard time sleeping in a lot of ways, because I think one thing law school's done, it'll be 6 o'clock, 7 p.m. My phone will be at like 60, 70% still.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's how little I am on my phone. I'm literally, I think today, because it's not that I don't only just have my readings for my cases, but I also am doing so much like supplemental learning. So like today, I had a class that I think was about 30 pages of reading.
Wow.
And, I did that. I mean, these are like, it's not like reading a book. It's big pages, and you're also having to take notes. But, that took me 2 hours to read these 30 pages. And then after that, I read the simpler version of that through like another book to really make sure I understand it. And that was like 15 pages. And so you're doing that all day, every day. And then you come home, and I've been recently like reading before bed, because I have to keep my brain going in a way where I can go to law school the next day, because I'm still very new, fresh to this. And there's a verbiage that is, when you're reading, to be able to listen to the professor talk in such a high vocabulary that I honestly did not have until law school, and I still don't have. So I'm trying to like read before bed. And what I'm realizing is I'm sleeping so much better because I'm not on social media pretty much the whole day.
Not surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely got to be some sort of statistic to that shows, like, when you have less screen time, obviously your sleep is better, your mental health is better. I mean, we were actually talking about this last night, like at dinner, we were just talking about, Kaleb encouraged me, like, hey babe, let's not scroll before bed. And honestly, I needed to hear that, because for me too, like, I'm not really scrolling throughout the day, because like I'm with Duke, and I also don't want Duke watching me just scrolling on my phone. It's weird because like after Duke goes to bed, like that's like me time where I'm like, okay, I can do what I need to get done, But I also realize it's not good to just scroll before bed. And I feel like especially being an influencer, like your screen time is insane. And even though like
What's your screen time?
do you want to see?
Yeah, let's pull it up.
I'm so embarrassed.
Hey, let's compare screen time.
Well, here's the thing. Again, it's hard is because it's part of my job.
Sure.
But also I'm on it editing a ton. But then I also want to respond to you guys and then I want to record. And so, oh my gosh.
What is it?
I'm so embarrassed.
Okay. Your daily average?
Wait, you go first.
Part of this is inflated because I listen to podcasts on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So like I doubt this is really true. But right now, my daily average is 3 hours and 20 minutes. What about you?
So just today, it's 6 hours.
Wait, that's not as bad as I
And the daily
thought.
average is 8 hours
Oh my Lord.
and 17 minutes. That's crazy. But it says an hour and a half of that is messaging and an hour and a half of that is Instagram. 47 minutes of that is camera because I'm editing. 45 minutes is edits. 24 minutes is TikTok. Half that is Huckleberry, which is Duke's apps.
Only 24 minutes of TikTok? Really?
Yeah. I mean, I honestly...
Or is that just today?
That was just today.
Yeah. Give me your daily average, your weekly average or daily average. Like, what's that? Stats. What's your average TikTok?
Well, let's see. On a week?
Let me see. You're spending
That's the week.
Yeah, 9 hours a week on Instagram, 2 hours and 5 minutes a week on TikTok. This isn't, honestly, because you do social media for a living, that's not as bad as I thought. 8 hours.
Yeah, just today I did an hour.
A lot.
It's a lot, but like that's also a ton of different apps in one. Like the most one I use is messages, but Instagram I've spent an hour and 22 minutes just today.
You know the crazy stat of that?
What?
That means you are not on your phone only 8 hours a day. So you are spending half the day on your phone just in its entirety. Like you only spend 8 hours a day not on your phone.
That's crazy.
That's nuts.
That's embarrassing.
It's not embarrassing.
But that's like the reality we live in, you know?
Yeah.
Like I feel like that...
We're crack addicts with our phone.
But that's like our society. Like we're wired to be glued to these phones because it has our photos, our cameras, our calculator, our maps, like I check my calendar. I'm on Trello. I'm planning everything. I have Duke's.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you not be on this? It's hard because my entire life is in the palm of my hands.
That's why I think law school's low-key been like rehab for me. Because I have to sit in class and I can't be on my phone.
Which is sometimes so annoying because I try to contact you and I can't.
Yeah. Like I have to spend an hour and a half, a day or two. I have 2 classes a day usually. And, you can't be on your phone. And so it's been so much easier for you and I to be out. It's actually kind of funny. You and I will be like watching TV and I'll be like, hey, babe, can you get off your phone? I used to never be like that. It used to not bother me. But now I'm like, let's just get off your phone.
And you know what's interesting? Like I said, here's what's so weird. Kaleb isn't on his phone all day. You come home, you spend like an hour where you kind of like scroll and you'll edit your videos, whatever. And then you're like, okay, I want to be off. For me, I'm not just like frilly-nilly, just like, woo, I'm watching all these videos, unless I'm like doing the dishes or doing laundry. But like once Duke goes to bed, like that's like me time. So like that's when I'm like, I want to scroll, I want to check Pinterest, I want to check Facebook Marketplace. Yeah. And so it's hard because Kaleb is like, babe, can you be present? Which of course I definitely want to do. But there's a part of me that's also like, I just need a moment for me because I haven't been able to do this,
There's definitely 2 sides of the aisle. I do think this is probably not even in science or whatever, but I do think there's a part of social media that is good. There's nothing that hits better mentally than not being on social media all day. That first 30 minutes, 40 minutes, you're not caught up on the news feed. Dude, everything is just like, man, this is fantastic.
Okay.
I love this. But there's a other side to it where you're 3 hours in and there's a layer of like a cloud goes above you. And it's the biggest wave of like depression that hits you in one moment.
No, I swear. What is up with that?
It's doom scrolling.
I'll notice like, okay, so say I get sucked into TikTok, which honestly, y'all, TikTok drives me nuts now. Like ever since TikTok shop and all the ads, like it takes me 7, 8, 9 swipes until I finally find a good video. I periodically delete it and re-download it, which is why I don't post on there very consistently. But it'll suck you in when you get like a good algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
And after that hour, I get off and I'm like, you know what I mean? Like,
What's
I feel
the
like
point?
I'm just like, what am I doing with my life? Why am I here? Like, I'm depressed. I'm anxious. It's crazy. And I mean, I did a whole episode on social media, but it's really hard because like it is my job. So like I try to, but I don't feel like I contribute to like.
How much of your doom scrolling do you actually like? Is it helping you with your job?
Okay. Yes and no. Part of it is like, obviously I have to keep up with trends. I need to know what's kind of going on. I need to also know what you guys want to see from me. Like I'm constantly trying to make sure I give content to my audience that they want. But then the part of it is just like for fun. I mean, I just like to see what my friends are up to, other influencers are up to. Like, I just want to know.
Yeah, it's like watching TV.
I'm nosy. I want to know.
Yeah, it's like your sports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, I had a really good
My
question.
social media addiction got so bad. I was having trouble when I go to the gym to like work out because I would like be doing, curls or, shoulder press or something. And I would want to be on my phone. So I would quickly finish the set, grab my phone, scroll for 5 minutes and realize that, oh my gosh, I've been at the gym for 2 hours. I've barely done anything. Now, because I've been off of it, when I go to the gym, it's so much easier for me just to get after it.
Yeah.
And so there is, guys, I mean, we're going to look back because the studies still, they're coming out. But I think more and more, we're going to see, I think in 20, 30 years, where we're going to start looking at Instagram, TikTok, which is so funny because it's so good. It can be such a good tool, but there's a you said it, like there's a layer to it that can cause so much, like when you're doom scrolling and then you hit search on TikTok because you're kind of interested in this thing and all of a sudden you're on this gossip thing and
you're down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, and then you look up and you're like, I've done nothing in my life because I'm too busy watching other people and their life and what's going on in their world or politics or whatever.
Yeah.
And you look up and you're like, I'm unhealthy. I have anxiety. I've drank no water today.
Right.
No protein.
It's hard though because like social media is not going anywhere. I love it. I do think there's so many benefits of it. I mean, I made a whole episode on this, but then it's hard because like as a consumer and a producer of it, it's like I see these pros and cons and sometimes I feel guilty or I feel responsible. Like if I got to help out, I got to make a difference. But then I also know I can't do that perfectly all the time. And the world is not all on my shoulders. That's not my sole responsibility. And so I think in general, if you're listening to this and you're like, okay, what's your point here, Jeanine?
Yeah.
I think overall, just like having those breaks, like I really like to try to take the weekends off. That's usually when I disappear from social media. Is like, I love being present with you, being with Duke, like going on walks. Like I just want to try to get off and I'll post, but then I kind of just try to be present with my people. And I think really using those weekends to do that is so, so important.
That is something that when I'm finished with law school that I will, because right now it's like a forced Sabbath. It's a forced, so many things in my life that I've had to stop doing, especially with caffeine. The reason why I stopped drinking caffeine was because I knew I could not have anxiety in school. I knew caffeine was kind of how that was happening.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm really proud of you for doing that.
Thank you.
One of the biggest reasons I chose Function Health is because it is the only platform that gives me data most people never get. The insights to things that maybe you never even see. Inside Function, you can test over 100 biomarkers, everything from hormones to toxins to markers from heart health, inflammation, and stress. You can even add on MRI and chest CT scans, all tracked in one place over time. It's a near 360 view of what's really going on inside your body, and that is why top leaders like Dr. Mark Hyman, Dr. Andrew Huberman, and Dr. Jeremy London are all behind Function Health. And since we're talking about aging, well, live stronger and healthy into your later decades isn't about just looking younger. It's about keeping the system that matters most in peak condition. For your cardiovascular system, that means keeping an eye on markers like apolipoprotein, B, and HSCRP, key indicators of heart health and inflammation. For your bones and muscles, things like vitamin D, magnesium levels play a huge role into keeping you strong and mobile. And hormones, they shape how we age, whether it's men gradually losing muscle mass as testosterone declines and women navigating menopause and changes in estrogen. When you can actually see and track these biomarkers over time, you get a personalized map for your protecting your health system by system, decade after decade. Learn more and join using my link. Function gives you a near 360 view of your body, and my followers get 100 credit towards membership. Just go to functionhealth.com/happy or use gift code HAPPY100 at sign up to start owning your health.
You know, there is so much to think about with pregnancy and postpartum, and let's be honest, taking care of yourself can sometimes fall to the very bottom of that never-ending to-do list, and that is why I was so relieved when I found Ritual. They're mom-founded and super transparent about their ingredients, and every product is third-party tested for things like heavy metals and microbes, and that gave me so much peace of mind. For me personally, I leaned on their prenatals during pregnancy and then shifted into their postnatals once my baby Duke was here. And honestly, I did not realize that postpartum can actually be even more demanding on your body than pregnancy itself. You guys trust me on this one. And Ritual made it so simple to support my nutrient needs in that season. I also love that their multis are gentle on an empty stomach. And they even have this little citrus essence tab in every bottle, so they actually taste good, which is massive. Plus, they are clean label, project certified, and even won the Purity Award, which only goes to products that really lead the way in minimizing exposures to chemicals and contaminants. That kind of quality matters so much. So, when it comes to pregnancy and postpartum support, you want products backed by research and transparency. Mom Founded Ritual puts in the work that shows you proof. Get 25% off your first month at ritual.com/healthy. That's ritual/healthy for 25% off your first month. What have you been thinking about lately? Like, what kind of
It's a broad question.
what keeps you up at night? What bothers you? Like when you're driving home from law school, what's in your mind?
How the heck am I going to write this exam? That is all I think about 24/7.
Man, I'm not cut out for that.
Yeah.
I'm not. You know what I realized about myself? I'm not a very competitive person.
That's not true.
No, in that sense, I'm I want to do great, but I'm not. I'm if someone gets better than me, I'm cool, good for you. I'm not I need to be the best. I'm kind of
I don't know. We played pickleball before, and you're pretty competitive.
okay, that's different. But in that environment, I've never been academically super competitive. I'm kind of just I'm going to stay in my lane. If I do great, awesome. That's my goal. I want for myself to do really well, but I'm not you're my enemy and I need to do better than you. There's some people in school that are they're wired like that.
Yeah.
They want to be the top 1%, the top 10% of their class. Which wasn't me. Anyway, we have a special guest back in the podcast, Mr. Duke Wardington.
I don't love. I never want people to feel like we,
Purposely.
bring him in the podcast. For it's just don't have really a choice because don't have a babysitter here, and
he just woke up from his nap.
so.
We try to time the podcast with his naps, but because he's in the 4-month sleep regression, which is. Man, if you get it, you get it. It's been really hard. His naps are 30 minutes. And so when he goes down, we're hurry, go. It's a lot.
So there's been a lot going on in the world lately. There's been a lot of Christian drama. That's one thing I've been, I've been kind of MIA because again, I'm not on the social media that much. But one thing I did notice is I'm sensing a lot of division in the Christian world right now. It feels like everything's a conspiracy theory. Everything is, people are making videos about people. It feels super kind of tribal. It feels a little disappointing.
That's a big reason why I don't really like TikTok that much. I just feel like TikTok stirs.
Instagram's too.
But I feel like it's more on TikTok. I think people are more unfiltered there. And it feels like they just take their big old pot and they throw some drama in there and they just stir it. And it feels like there's a lot going on in that space. And I don't know. I feel like
Should we say what we're specifically talking about?
Sure. Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff regarding Forrest Frank and the and I don't even want to I don't know the guy. He seems like the most genuine person.
That he's friends with my ex.
It's okay. Listen,
I was actually supposed to hang out.
I'd probably be friends with your ex.
I was supposed to hang out with him and his wife. We were we just never got around to it. But one time we were on the phone and we were hey, we got to hang out. And it just didn't happen.
So you basically were kind of you kind of knew about him before everyone else.
Yeah, he was just getting out of college, kind of, anyway.
No, it's okay. No.
Yeah, sorry. But
wait, you don't have to.
He's friends with my ex.
That's okay. You don't have to get uncomfortable about it. I'm strong enough in our marriage to,
No, I don't think you have a problem with it. I just
know.
think it's just interesting. It's just a fun fact.
Is that your claim to fame? Your ex is friends with Forrest Frank?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Yeah, there's some drama in the world, and I feel like you're right. I do feel like there's some things going on in the Christian space. People, I don't know, like I just feel like we're in a very weird time with social media because we've never seen this before. If you guys didn't see, I was on Danny Austin's podcast and she asked amazing questions. So go check out that episode on hers. And then we did one on my podcast too. But Danny asked me, what do you think about these commentators calling out Christians? Like, how do you feel about that? What do you think
Yeah.
about that? Like, what do you think
So-
about these like commentators like making
Yeah.
their whole channel about pastors and public speakers?
Yeah,
And
it's a good question. It's tough because some people they got to put food on the table, But so my favorite, and he's not even a commentator, but one of my favorite funniest human beings is Josh Benson. I think he's so funny. And I actually I've had some really good. I called Josh because I think he did make a video regarding Forrest. I think he was making a joke. Josh is a comedian. Josh is going to make fun of everybody. And I've asked him, I'm like, hey, so how do you balance? What's funny? I feel like we've talked about Josh Benson so much on the podcast. He's going to be like, y'all are obsessed
dude,
with
I
me.
actually mentioned him on Danny's
I know.
podcast too.
I know we talk about him a
Josh?
lot. But I kind of use Josh as my kind of baseline for how I talk about this because I know him personally. So like, I'm not going to offend him. I don't want to talk about someone else I don't really know. So that's the issue is when we talk about people we don't know. I do think the comedians, I think they get more of a pass because I think we put ourselves out there online. And I think there's a little bit of like, you need to be able to laugh at yourself. So if you post something that's kind of cringe or you post something that people disagree with, and, for instance, if Josh sees a video and he thinks maybe it's leading people astray, he might point it out and make fun of it. Now, do I think that toes the line? Because, he told me that he has, godly people in his life and he has checks and balances where he'll, talk to people and say, hey, is this crossing the line? Is this good? And so it's tough. I don't know what the right answer is because I do think it could potentially stir division amongst people. But at the same time, if you're posting something that is leading people astray, which I don't think that's what Forrest Frank did. That's where I do think we get it wrong is when we make a video on someone making fun of them, people in the comments insinuate who you're talking about, who it is, and then just the roasting and the bullying gets worse. So I do think it is tricky. And the commentating aspect of content of like pastors and stuff, I think it's totally fine to like, I've used those people as, okay, hey, is this pastor actually speaking with good theology? The issue is when we cut a 15-second clip,
Right.
taking something out of context, then reacting to it. And then I could take something out of context, then I can get 100,000 views on it and I can make money and I can provide. So then every single day, these commentators are like, how can I expose another Christian?
Right.
And I think that might be kind of a miserable life because deep down your flaws, that you're sinful. And it might suck that one day someone commentates about your commentating.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's like, okay, if you are going to do that, be aware that can come back to you. Because if you're going to be saying like, I'm just calling people out lovingly and I'm a Christian and Christians are allowed to call other Christians out. Well, people are allowed to do that back to you then, And I do feel like it's a weird space because we're calling out specific pastors and people and authors. And the thing is like, okay, what's most helpful is to always put yourself in those people's shoes. I would be so frustrated if someone took a clip from me and assumed all my beliefs, all my theology, everything that I thought, everything that I stood for based off of, a clip. But I do feel like there's a difference between if you're continually seeing someone say something over and over and over, or maybe they're saying this in an hour-long podcast or an hour-long sermon or whatever, and like, okay, that's what they believe. They stand on that. But it's hard if you just take a clip out of context and you assume that that's everything they are and they're a horrible person and this is what they believe. Like there's more nuance to it, but I just feel like in general, look at him little chomping his teeth away. He's so cute. It's a dangerous game because you don't really know people's hearts and you don't know people's intentions. And also, I know the Bible says don't judge, but I do believe like Christians are supposed to call each other out, but in a loving way. But I think that's where people use that to their advantage and be like, well, I'm just calling you out. But it's also like, but we don't know each other. I've never spoken to you. Like, you don't know me. I don't know you. We don't know each other from Adam. But yet here you are making 10 videos about me with my face plastered on your thumbnails. It's so weird. Like this, again, like I said, it's a very unprecedented time. And people are profiting off of other people. People like to profit off of slander and gossip. And so it does feel very divided. But I also think not everyone's intentions are wrong because some people genuinely want to help people know the correct theology or maybe know like, okay, this is false or maybe this is not really what God said or this is where scripture has been twisted. And so not all of it is bad, but it's nuanced.
Yeah, I agree. So I don't want to be annoying because I've talked about law school before, but
we get it.
This is, I think, applicable. So I'm learning right now, and it's in my torts class, and we're talking a lot about intent because you need intent to prove something. The question is like, what is intent? So when we look at these pastors and we make videos about them because we don't like them, and we assume their intention. Okay, but to assume someone's intention, like, what does that really mean? Like the definition of it, intention in like the classes I'm learning right now is the purposeful like act accompanied with substantial certainty that would result in that action.
Nice.
And so if we need to really make sure we are substantially certain, and I'm probably butchering that. So if you go to law school, year 2 or 3L or whatever,
Don't
like
come from
I probably said that wrong. But like you need to have substantial certainty, not 50%, not 60%, but you need to know that they are, I think, in a way where like this is actually blasphemous. And I think I need to share with my followers or the people that I know that this is wrong. This could be leading people astray. But I think what's happening sometimes, for instance, you posted something yesterday that was a video about you opening up about your health and how you feel unhealthy. And so I commented on that post before I deleted it because I didn't want to have to deal with it. But I commented because what's funny is I was in school, so like I saw like the title. I didn't listen to the voiceover. And it was actually kind of like a sad video.
It was
like
me being vulnerable.
You're being super vulnerable,
Yeah.
but I didn't watch it because I just saw the initial post and I commented, I guess that means no more frozen pizzas, which that's an inside joke in our marriage because Jeanine and I's favorite thing to eat ever is a frozen pizza.
It's a CPK pizza.
We eat them all the time, barbecue chicken. And so like that was an inside joke for us. And immediately within 30 seconds, this person commented, this comment is not it. Jeanine's out here being vulnerable. And I can't remember what else this person said. And I mean, I was like, what was funny was I knew that when I talked to Jeanine about this later, but I was in school, so I just didn't want to deal with it. When I got home, I told Jeanine and we just laughed about it because one, A, that's my wife. 2, like you assumed my intent was to be disrespectful or rude.
Yeah.
But you didn't have the context to know that I didn't really watch the video. And you also don't know our marriage and you don't know that Jeanine and I literally banter each other all the time. We joke around. Jeanine's mean to me, okay, guys? And so
someone's got to keep you,
Yeah. And so
keep you humble.
We joke around all the time together. And so that's a perfect example of like, we got to like relax here.
Well, I think also, okay, so much in that. I feel like I'm just someone that I look at most things and I'm like, y'all, it's not that deep. And I think so many people take things so serious where I'm like, guys, like, can we have some fun? It feels like the internet went from being like meme culture and like funny and whatever to like everything is so serious and it's so deep and it's so literal. And I'm just like, wait, whoa, and like, I don't know. So I think, for example, like I appreciate that person like sticking up for me because they're like, hey, she's sharing something vulnerable. And I was. Oh, yeah.
Tell us how you feel.
Yeah, that was really
You don't like that, do you? Do? Okay, keep going.
And like, yeah, I was being vulnerable and I wanted to share about that. And I can talk more about that later at the end of the episode. But I also don't feel like even when I put that post out, like, I'm not even trying to be like, guys, woe is me. My life is so hard. Like, I want to share aspects of my life and open up and obviously share with you guys, like, not everything, I have everything figured out. I'm not perfect. Trust me. And so even if I do share that, like, obviously I would hate it if someone were to like roast me in the comments, but like, you're my husband, you're allowed to do that. But I just feel like in general, the internet's kind of gotten not very fun in a lot of ways because
Duke is having
Duke is chit-chatting right now. Because I feel like it's just everything feels so serious. Like everything just feels so deep. And I'm like, guys, can we just have like a little bit of fun? And of course, hear me when I say this. There are things that are serious. There are, of course, some things we should not make fun of. We should not take lightly, whatever. But most things, I just feel like everyone like looks into it so deeply. And so even with the Forrest Frank situation, just people being like, I'm going to unfollow you and, I've never listened to your music again. And I'm like, wait, whoa.
We should explain. People might not know what the situation.
All right, Kaleb's taking Duke here for a second. But essentially what happened is Forrest Frank was invited to the Dove Awards. He's crushing it. He's been blowing up the last couple years. And so, of course, I think he was awarded an award. So he decided not to go to the Dove Awards. And he said he felt personally convicted that it was something he didn't need to do and he didn't want to do. And he didn't want to take an award for God's glory. And that truly, like, the award should have gone to Jesus and it shouldn't have gone to him. And so, honestly, when I first saw it, I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. Like, I really genuinely thought that was like a really humble and honorable thing to do. And I was actually pretty impressed with it. But then the internet blew up and was just like, wow, this is, you trying to act holier than thou and like self-righteous and you think you're better. And, it got spun a completely different direction. And I was actually pretty surprised to see that. And I can see where people are coming from. They're like, okay, wow, you just clearly want, people to think you're cool and whatever. But I was actually very surprised. Welcome back. That the internet took it the way that it did. Did you?
Yeah.
Like, were you surprised?
Okay, Jeanine took Duke. We did a little tag team. I think she's going to go feed him. So she might be back. Otherwise, it's just me for the rest of the podcast. I do think she's going to try to come back to conclude with us. But I believe she was talking about Forrest Frank. Yeah, so I thought the whole situation was just honestly kind of disappointing as like, we're all on the same team. I think for me, it's like, let the bro have his own convictions. Like if he thinks that he doesn't want to, partake in something and he wanted to make an announcement, that's his conviction. That's what he feels. You don't know what was stirring up in his heart. You don't know maybe what was going on in his personal life, or maybe the years prior when he went to the awards, he didn't like something. So yeah, I do think just let people have their own convictions. I think there's some people who have very strong convictions on alcohol, on a lot of different things, social media being one, where someone could be able to have a drink of a glass of wine every so often, but there's another person who just feels convicted that they shouldn't partake in that. And I think you need to respect people's convictions. Now on the other side, I do understand where some people were coming from, where it diminished the light of the night, or it was making people feel guilty who were, getting awards or whatever. And so I do understand that too. I also understand, like, if you're a small musician or you're somebody who's on the come up, where an award like this could be super life-changing. And it's also such an amazing alternative to the Grammys or to, these different award shows, the MTV Music Awards, where it's always so in your face, over-sexualized. It's not family friendly. It's always usually pointed to something that's just, maybe it's just not great for your kids to watch. And so I do believe that I think, what's it called, Jeanine?
The Dove Awards? The
Dove Awards and then the Kaleb Awards. Like, I do believe that these are such good alternatives. But at the same time, like, if the bro doesn't want to do something, you can't make him not do it. But I do understand, again, from the other side, when you post something on social media, you post your convictions, you open yourself up to people responding to you. And I do think that's somewhat fair, but the personal attacks, the commenting, all these other things. I just think it's stupid. It's like, again, we're on the same team. I don't even love, like, I think Jelly Roll kind of came at him. It's like, I don't know. I don't love that. I don't like seeing Christians beef. But I do understand it from the other side. So I see both sides.
Yeah.
At first, I kind of was like, that kind of sucks. He's diminishing the night, because if you were going to that music award, then that's kind of like what everyone's talking about. So I do understand it from that. But after talking to some people, I kind of changed my mind on it, where I'm like,
well, yeah. Did you talk about how, like, maybe, like, for example, I guess people that are going, it makes them feel like, oh, am I bad for accepting an award? Like, so am I wrong?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the generalization maybe of his convictions were taken as that's what his beliefs were, that the whole thing was pagan or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
Have you ever stopped to think about what your cookware is actually made of? I hadn't either until I learned that there's a lot of nonstick pans that are made with forever chemicals like PFAS and PTFEs. And here's the scary part. Once those get into your body, they don't leave. Even one little scratch in a pan can send microplastic particles into your food. Yikes. That's when Kaleb and I knew it was time for an upgrade, and we switched to our place. Honestly, I seriously wish I did this sooner. Their 4-piece cookware set is completely toxin-free, and it's been a total game changer in our kitchen. You get 2 always pans and 2 perfect pots, both in full and mini size, and together they replace like half your kitchen gear. You can saute, steam, roast, bake, whatever you're making, these pans can handle it. And let me just say, they are gorgeous. So it makes me happy every time I cook. They're cute and functional, say less. And here's the best part. When you get the full set, you save $150, plus with my code, you'll save even more. Do yourself a favor, ditch the toxic pans, upgrade to cookware that's safe, beautiful, and built to last. Go to FromOurPlace.com/healthy and use code HEALTHY for 10% off site-wide. You will also get free shipping, free returns, and a 100-day risk-free trial. No reason not to try it. Anyway, I don't know, just some random thoughts on that. I don't feel like you're wrong if you go or wrong if you don't, but I think it really does all matter, your heart. That's what it all is about, is truly like, where's your heart at? And I think that was the number one thing, is that Forrest Frank was like, I personally feel convicted not to go. And I think if the Lord has convicted you about it, then don't do it. And I think that's what people are saying, is like, why are y'all getting mad that he personally feels that way? So let him feel that way, So
Yeah.
I don't know. Interesting thing in Christian culture.
It would be really hard to make a video that you thought was right, and then everyone's making a video about you. People are making fun of you. I imagine that's like that would suck. So are you optimistic for where we're headed? Because every time I get on social media, there's just something new every single day. And I don't want to have an ignorance is bliss mindset, but right now it just feels like there's so many different camps of thoughts from so many different ways. And it's like, well, I don't even know what to believe. Besides Jesus and besides my values, it feels like if you don't choose a team perfectly, or maybe I'm on this team, but I don't share all the same thoughts, now I'm a bad person, then that side thinks I'm this or that side thinks I'm that. I mean, we saw it with Danny Austin. She went on The View to promote Divvy. And, a lot of people are coming out her for like, how dare you go on The View? They don't share the same values or whatever. But then if she does things the other way, then the left comes at her. It's like, we're all people.
Yeah, that's why you really you can't win. And you have to just live for the approval of the Lord and have your heart be pure before the Lord. And I think that's the thing, is like, what's that phrase? It's like, if you live for their approval, you'll die for their denial. What's that phrase?
That sounds right.
It's like, if you live for people's approval,
live by the sword, died by the sword.
Yeah, essentially, like, if you are trying to live for people's approval, you'll never win. You will absolutely never win. And also, you're on social media. Like, there's millions of people that have different opinions. And again, they don't know you. They're seeing a fragment of your life. And so they're going to assume things. That's just natural. That's part of the what's going to happen, is just people are going to comment. They're going to think things. And so, like, you can't almost fault people for feeling that way, because like maybe I see someone post something and I'm like, oh, that's a little disappointing, but it's not enough for me to be like, bye.
I need to destroy them.
I need to destroy you. Or I need to post about you on Reddit. I need to comment. I need to, whatever. Like, I don't know. I've never been that way, but I feel like that is still where the internet is going. But I do feel like we're leveling out a little bit. I feel like we're getting a little less cancel culture and more just people being like, hey, if I don't like you, I'm just going to unfollow, which that is so your prerogative. That's okay. Like, you're allowed to do that. So I'm hoping again that we can kind of have a little bit more critical thinking, which I feel like that's something you are doing really well because of law school. It's like really helped you to kind of really dissect things better and do more critical thinking, because I think that's the issue is, again, a lot of people can see a clip or think one thing and they're not really able to be like, okay, let me slow down and pause for a second and think, what does this actually mean? Or what does this actually say? Or what do they really believe? Or maybe that's not really who they are. And I think that's where the internet kind of goes wrong is we just assume. We cast judgment. We label things on people and it may not be really the truth, but then not everyone has to explain themselves either. And so I think it's kind of like a cycle because people feel like, oh, I don't need to explain myself. I don't really owe you anything. But then people are like, no, you do owe me. I'm your follower. I buy your products. And so it kind of is like this never ending cycle,
I get tricked every single day. There's like, I'll watch a video or a short clip of something and then I'll think something for a year. Like today I was talking to this guy at school and I was telling him something. I was like, can you believe they did that? Or can you believe this happened? And he goes, I know exactly what you're talking about. And actually, that's not true. And he gave me the other side to this situation. And I was like, I felt so stupid because I was like, I fell for, this clip that I thought was true. And there's so many things that happen with that. You take something so out of context and then you believe it to be true. And then you have your teams. Oh, I hate that person. I hate that other person. But there's so much. This is what this is like my slogan for life, or what I want to promote in our life, especially. Like, I do think we should actually have this in our marriage where I'm like deciding this right now, where we have like a slogan for our marriage. And I think,
what's not a slogan?
Just like a mission statement.
A mission statement, yeah.
And I think the mission statement needs to embody something that is optimistic about the future instead of being pessimistic. And I do think there's this idea that like the future, I'm not making this up. There's actually a podcast. I think it's Patrick Bet David says this. The future is bright.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that statement because if we believe that the future is bright, then positivity, we're all optimistic. We can talk to each other in an optimistic way because I do think we undervalue how much optimism can change someone's life.
Yeah.
Someone who's like, though the world's coming to an end, everyone is horrible. It takes one person to encounter you to say, actually, I think there's more common ground here than we think. I think that there is, we can love our neighbor who we disagree with. And so I think for our marriage, like the future is bright because we love fall. We can't wait for our coffee. We can't wait for Christmas. We can't wait for our time with our community and our family members, and our son's growing up. He's going to be one soon. He's going to be walking soon. There's so many things.
Yeah. And I think that goes into even like, when I've had several people DM me just like, I'm so scared to bring children into this world. And I've had a lot of people even ask me that too. Like, how can you feel comfortable bringing a child into this crazy, this crazy world? Like, it's doomsday and everything's horrible. And I hear you. We were scared too. We thought about it. But then that's why you as the parent, you have the responsibility to make a change. Like, if no one makes a change, there's not going to be any change. And so if people, godly parents and stuff, if we decide, we want to raise godly children, we want to not raise our kids to live in fear. We don't want to fearmonger. We want to make a difference. We want to raise children that are leaders. Like, that's a big reason why I wanted to name Duke was because Duke means leader. And my belief and prayer, I pray this over him every single night, is that Duke would be a leader for his generation, that Duke would be a leader for his school, for his peers, for his classmates, for whatever teams he's on, that he would make a difference. And so it's our responsibility as parents to instill that into them. And of course, he's going to make his own decisions. But that's the Bible says, be fruitful and multiply. It doesn't say live in fear and stop producing because of what's going to happen. Like it says, be fruitful and multiply. And that's what we're called to do, but we're called to make a difference. And so I think if you are one of those people that feels scared, I'm right there with you. I understand it is scary. Like I get scared too, like what's going to happen to my child. But we as the parents are called to make a difference, to pray for our children, to steward that well. And I hope that that's what, you look to doing as well. And that's what we're in alignment with, is making a difference for the future generation with our children as well.
Yeah, if you're scared, you think everything is doomed, just read the Old Testament. When I was just reading the scripture, and it's talking about when a plague swept over Israel, and it says here that 70,000 people died. It's easy for people to have a heart that is, oh, the world's coming to an end. But if you just read the Old Testament, the world's been crazy for so long. And it's not just a cop-out, but I do think if we walk with a heart of thanksgiving and we look within our own life and like, okay, what does the Lord bless me with? Okay, I have a 5-month-old son. I have a beautiful wife. I have shelter. I have food. There's something within your life that you could be thankful for. And I think that spirit of optimism is so underrated.
Yeah.
It's so underrated.
I mean, I do understand when people are like, obviously we know Jesus is coming back and we will endure some persecution as Christians. The Bible is clear about that as well. So like, it's not like we're trying to say have a false positive mindset, because, the Bible does say be alert, stay awake, like be mindful, be prepared, all of those things. Like, I think you can have that in tandem of like, let's be joyful and be thankful and have a heart of gratitude, but also be prepared and be alert and be aware. I mean, obviously we're not saying, ignorance is bliss and just shut your Bible and everything's fine and dandy. Like, that's not what we're saying, but we're also saying in the process of that, as Christians, we're called to be the light of the world. We're called to be joyful. We're called to radiate Christ and reflect him in all we do. And so I think if we could do that in the midst of the chaos, that would be amazing.
Well, yeah, if I'm having everything is doomed, what am I going to tell my son? When Duke's older,
right.
Does he get no optimism? Is his life just doomed? Every generation, this is like my one beef with since I was a kid, my parents and their grandparents, every generation thought their generation was the worst off, or
so true.
Their generation was the most doomed. Like when the internet came out, everybody was like, the internet is going to, destroy everything. And then now it's AI and AI is going to destroy everything. And I just think that humans are a little more resilient. And yes, there's a lot of evilness in the world, but there's a lot of good people in the world too. There's so much good, strong believers in the world. Listen, and this is true. I know this to be true. There's amazing non-Christians too out there in the world. And so we have to stop as Christians. This is huge. I think we need to stop looking at people who aren't Christians as the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not the enemy. I've been around a lot of Christians who the way they talk about non-believers is so disappointing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think also okay, if you're going to complain about it, then what are you going to do to fix it? I think a lot of people just want to complain and be like, man, everyone sucks and the world is so hard and everything, da-da-da. It's kind of like, okay, if that's true, then what are you going to do to make a difference? What are you going to do to be the opposite of that and to make a positive change and to be the light? And you know what I mean? So it's really easy to complain and point fingers and just to, again, have a very negative doomsday mindset. But also, okay, if Jesus is coming back or if things are hard, then what can we do to fix it? What can we do to make a difference? And so, yeah, I think that would be my final encouragement on this topic. Okay, so y'all, sorry, this podcast has been a little over the place. It's just so happened to fall in alignment with Duke's nap time and feeding time because it's pretty late. And I'm actually about to go on a trip tomorrow. It is my first time being away from my little man.
Where are you going?
I'm going to Palm Springs for a wedding of a longtime YouTube friend. Her name's Monica Church. And we've known each other for easily 12 years, which is so cool. I also want to say, guys, really quickly on a quick update. Remember in my solo episode where I shared how things were going, I said I wanted to be more bold for my faith. I did a share the gospel challenge, and I wanted to encourage you guys to share the gospel this week. And I got to do that this past week with an amazing man named Vincent in the Philippines. So that was a really cool story. I got to share the gospel with him.
You went to the Philippines?
I did. I flew just this past week.
Cool.
Yeah. 16-hour flight. No, I'm kidding. On the phone, he worked for Chase. I lost my credit card and he was all the way in the Philippines. I got to share the gospel with him. And so just want to give you guys a positive, fun update on that where I said, let's share it and I want to hear your story. So if you did do that, let's hear the stories in the comments down below as I just think that's an amazing thing for us to share. So yay. Wow. Y'all, it's so funny. We sit down on these episodes and we're kind of like, what do we want to talk about? Duke wants to say his piece again. And we somehow found a way to bring up a topic. I'll say the sun has started to set too. So we've been here for a minute. But thank you guys for hanging out with us. Sorry, this was a little chaotic. This is just life with a baby. It looks a little different these days. Leave any thoughts you guys have down below. Of course, let us know always what you guys want us to talk about. We love hearing your topics and your questions. Anyway.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah, I got to go pack. And we got to get Duke dropped off. I'm going to cry.
Okay.
Thank you guys for listening. We love you guys. We'll see you guys next week for another episode of Happy Unhealthy. Until then, we will see you then. Stay happy and healthy. Love y'all.
See you guys. Bye.